W8VPV. Repeater. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Call the Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2415, with the release date of Friday, February 9th, 2024, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Another radio tower is dismantled and stolen. A giant in DXing and contesting becomes a silent key. And the music of Valentine's Day, CW style. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2415 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron, NATMW. Our top story takes us to Alabama, where antenna and tower thieves have struck again at yet another broadcast property. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, has that story.
Only weeks after a radio station in Oklahoma suffered the destruction of its tower and broadcast site by vandals in search of copper, an AM radio station in Alabama discovered that its 200-foot tower had gone missing overnight. General Manager Brett Elmore of WJLX Radio posted on various social media platforms on Friday, February 2nd, that a worker doing landscaping cleanup made the discovery that morning. He said the guy wires had been cut and the tower was gone. The station's transmitter was also stolen from the nearby building. Unlike in the Oklahoma case, the targeted material was not copper, but stainless steel. Jasper, Alabama police were investigating. The AM station, which is licensed to operate on 1240 kilohertz, has an FM translator that broadcasts on 101.5 megahertz from a different site. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
A top DXer and contester from Slovenia, who was called a friend by many, has become a silent key. Slavko S57DX was being remembered on internet postings by friends everywhere and by those who logged contacts with him over the years. On DX Summit, many of those hams were spotting his call sign for the final time on 14 megahertz with the message RIP. The first such posting was made on the 4th of February, the day of his death, which was announced in a QRZ forum post by his younger brother Janez S51DX. It was only last July that Slavko celebrated 50 years as a radio amateur by operating a month-long special event using the call sign S573DX. On the QRZ page for that special event, he wrote that as a newly licensed 16-year-old amateur in July of 1973, quote, "My heartbeat was near 200 at the time of first contact," end quote. Despite his success in worldwide events, he also had time for young radio operators. In 2022, youngsters attending Yota Camp at Voice of America in Westchester, Ohio, were thrilled to log him as their first DX contact. He was a veteran of the Slovenian military, where he was a specialist in telecommunications. He was also a proud member of a ham radio family that includes his wife Pavla S56DX, brother Janez S51DX, and youngest brother Bojan S53YT. Radio, he wrote on QRZ.com, was love at first sight. And even 50 years later, the excitement never died. Qualifying CubeSats from developing nations will be able to get a free ride into space soon under an agreement signed last month between the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs and ExoLaunch GmbH. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, has those details.
UN member countries involved in space exploration are gaining a boost from a pact the UN's Office for Outer Space Affairs has signed with the Berlin-based company known as ExoLaunch. The agreement is part of the Access to Space for All program that opens the doors to experience in space exploration for countries that might not otherwise have such access. The program also presents opportunities for the next generation in developing countries to put their STEM education to work with an eye towards pursuing a space-related career. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Satellite enthusiasts said a final goodbye to the popular AMSAT CubeSat known as AO-92, which re-entered the Earth's atmosphere on the 3rd of February after 6 years of service. Before its weakening batteries made the satellite unreliable, its FM transponder was well used and allowed many hams to set distance records for contacts. The satellite's payloads also included an L-band converter, an experimental camera, and a MEMS gyro experiment. Meanwhile, despite the announcement that Sapienza Space Systems and Space Surveillance Laboratory would decommission the ham digipeater on satellite IO-117, known as Green Cube, the satellite remained in operation after the 5th of February. Petition drives and a letter from AMSAT's president, Robert Bankston, KE4AL, made last-minute appeals to keep the satellite and its well-used digipeater in action. As Newsline went to production, AMSAT's Paul Stetzer, N8HM, told Newsline that the amateur community was still awaiting a response from the Italian Space Agency, which owns the satellite and is leaving it in operation pending a decision. The earliest of the sweeping changes to UK ham licenses are to begin this month. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us about some of them.
The first of the changes to be made to ham licenses in the UK are to be implemented by the end of this month. Amateurs have already begun receiving information from Ofcom newsletters or to read about the changes in the latest issue of Radcom published by the Radio Society of Great Britain. Some of these first changes include permission for foundation licensees to build their own equipment and to operate on the 2.4 gigs and 5 gigs band. The new rules also permit third-party operation under supervision. Regional secondary locators are to become optional. Foundation and full licensees in England may optionally use E as an identifier. Changes to power levels include the ability to transmit while airborne on primary ham bands, but with power limited to 500 milliwatts EIRP. The main documents containing these and other changes to the licensing framework can be found on the Ofcom website. Follow the link that is in this week's text version of Newsline at arnewsline.org. Additional changes are expected to be phased in later this year. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
If you look at a map of the United States, you'd never guess for 1 minute that the highway known as Route 66, the Mother Road, doesn't just travel between east and west, but it actually leads to Pluto. Randy Sly, W4XJ, explains.
How did radio amateurs start a special event marking the discovery of Pluto in 1930? By getting on Route 66. We're talking about the annual Pluto Anniversary Countdown, a 10-year-long activity counting down to the discovery's centennial year, 2030. The event, however, has an interesting beginning. Doug Tombaugh, N3PDT, nephew of Clyde Tombaugh, the astronomer who made the discovery, told Newsline that it began when he contacted Bob Wirtz, NF7E, during the Route 66 special event, which Bob helps organize with the Northern Arizona DX Association.
Bob was running the Route 66 station out of Flagstaff, and I called him. I got in. I said, "Yeah, that's great." And I said, "By the way, my last name's kind of famous in Flagstaff." And he asked who I was, and then we had a nice little chat about that. And he contacted me via email later just to say hi. And then we've kind of kept in contact. They saw they were going to have a countdown to the 100th anniversary. Northern Arizona DX Association. Well, yeah, they do events. So they did this Pluto event up well. Really a great bunch of guys and gals, and really nice to be associated with them and be included in this. It's a lot of fun.
This year, Whiskey 7 Papa at the Lowell Observatory and Whiskey 7 Papa Stroke 0, led by Doug, will be active for the 4th year of the countdown from February 11th through the 19th. For more information, visit the Northern Arizona DX Association website at nadxa.com. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Cookeville Repeater Association's W4HPL repeater in Cookeville, Tennessee, on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. local time. August may seem like a long way off, but for one international group of YLs, the days between the 4th and 10th of that month can't come soon enough. Cell MB KB3TZD tells us why.
Imagine having access to a first-class contest station in Europe for a whole week. In between getting on the air, imagine attending workshops on how to solder more efficiently, how to set up a station for the digital modes, and how to build a 20-meter dipole that can be carried back to the home QTH after the week is over. The Oscar Kilo 5Z contest station in the Czech Republic will be the centerpiece of a full week of YL radio adventures. The hosts will also share their accounts of SOTA activations, de-expeditions to Africa, and various flora and fauna activations in the OKFF program. For information about hotel accommodations or activities during the week, or to reserve a place, contact Eva, HB9FPM/OK3QI, at the email address shown in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. This is Cell MB, KB3TZD.
A radio command center staffed by hams played an important role for the first time this year at a major festival in India. Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, tells us how they did it.
For the first time in its 18 years, a major festival in West Bengal, India, known as the Dulas Utsav, invited amateur radio operators to provide critical support. The festival took place on the Central Parade Grounds in Alipurduar in late December, concluding at the end of January, drawing 750,000 attendees. Anoric VU3IYJ told Newsline in an email that this was the first time licensed hams were present to set up a command center to assist with the crowds. Preamp VU3IYI donated the VHF and HF base stations for field support. The North Bengal Amateur Radio Society, led by Swarup VU3KOX, was assisted by volunteers from the Oscar India training program, including Jeet VU2OIJ and Niladri VU3FOY. The hams also activated Special Event Station AT28BDU. Anoric told Newsline that the hams were able to conduct some public education as well on behalf of amateur radio, leading an awareness program and having posters on display to explain the contributions that hams make to the community. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
The innovative spirit of California's Silicon Valley has its roots in the innovative spirit of amateur radio, according to one expert who has spent his life in both worlds. On the 23rd of February, he will share his observations in a presentation that anyone can attend from anywhere. Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB, tells us about him and his unique history lesson.
California's Santa Clara Valley literally blooms with innovation. Its technology-rich landscape is populated by big data, blockchain, mobile communications, biotech, AI, and other creations that were once only blueprints and dreams. Add to that list amateur radio, which Paul Wessling, KM6LH, believes contributed heavily to the start of it all. He will share a presentation on the Valley's evolution into an innovation center when he visits the California Historical Radio Society, where he can be seen and heard in person as well as via Zoom. Registration is required for both means of attendance. This has been a popular talk wherever it has been presented by Paul, who is an engineer and lecturer. He traces the influence of ingenuity and inventiveness during and after the Second World War from Palo Alto, California, into the Santa Clara Valley. starting with the names of now famous tinkerers throughout history. Lee DeForest, Bill Eitel, W6UF, David Packard, 9DRV, and Bill Hewlett. He takes the history lesson right up to Apple Computer's Steve Wozniak, WA6BND, and Atari's Nolan Bushnell, W7DUK. For registration details and additional information, see the Historical Radio Society's website by following the link in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
In the world of DX, BJ WA7WJR will be on the air holiday style from Vietnam as XV9WJR from the 12th through the 22nd of February. He'll be operating CW, SSB, and digital modes on 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters. QSL direct to his home call. Listen for Chuck, KG9N, operating as V26CV from Antigua, IOTA number NA100 until the 20th of February. He's using mainly CW and SSB. See QRZ.com for details. Listen throughout February for the special call sign SC50AG, marking the Scandinavian CW Activities Group's 50th anniversary. All QSOs will be confirmed automatically via the Bureau and LOTW. A month-long celebration of World Radio Day, 13 February, and the 100th anniversary of the start of regular radio broadcasting in Spain is happening on the air with the special call sign AO100RADIO until the 29th of February. See QRZ.com for details. We dedicate our final story to the holiday known as Valentine's Day, an occasion for many in some countries to celebrate the people and even the things of which they are fondest. For many of us, that includes ham radio. But what else? That's a musical question, and in this case, Paul Brown, WD9GCO, has the answer.
You're about to hear a love story. It's about Junie, N1DUC, who loves amateur radio. It's about Don Smith, a Mississippi songwriter who loves music. Last year, when the two met at a local coffee shop where Don was practicing some of his songs, Junie asked him if he could help create a song for her YouTube channel. Don said yes, and then asked, "Is there a way to send an affectionate message using Morse code?" Junie replied, "Well, of course. You send the number 88. Da da da, did it." Well, that's all the rhythm and inspiration that Don needed. With a little bit of research and a little bit of songwriting, he was back a week or so later serenading Junie while they were seated outside the Bright-Eyed Brewing coffee shop. He also recorded the moment on his own YouTube channel. Love and Kisses is a love song to a form of communication that may not be quite as old as music itself, but just as effective as sending the message. So, here's a message from Newsline to Don and Junie, with apologies to William Shakespeare, who predates Samuel Morse by more than just a few years. Quote, "If Morse code be the food of love, play on." End quote. This is Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
You can find links to Don's song in both a guitar and piano version in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. Don't be so busy chasing DX or activating those parks that you forget to write a haiku about your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. We can't accept any entries that aren't written in traditional haiku form. Newsline would also like to take this moment to congratulate our friends at the Ham Radio Workbench podcast on producing their 200th episode. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, Anurag, VU3IYJ, ARRL, California Historical Radio Society, CQ Magazine, David BR, K7DB, Don Smith, DX World, EVA, HB9FPM, Exolot, Launch, FCC, 425DX News, CUNY, N1DUC, QRZ.com, Radio World, RSGB's Radcom, RISA R1BIG, Satnog, ShortwaveRadio.de, Soda Reflector, Sapienza Space Systems, UN Office for Outer Space, Wireless Institute of Australia, Worldwide DX, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you'd like to support us, visit our website, arnewsline.org, and know we appreciate you all. We also remind you that if you like our newscast, leave a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron in a TMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And as always, thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline, copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater PL110.9. W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John and my call is W3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. An open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until the activity tapers off. Then I'll go to 1 at a time. If you are a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins, and then close the net. We also operate a band expiration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. This evening, the band exploration net is on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. Here are the announcements. Okay, this Wednesday, February 14th, is our Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting. It will start at 7:30 p.m. in person and on Zoom. The Zoom link is on the calendar. Again, that's February 14th, Valentine's Day. Let's see, and in person, it's at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, the address of which is 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by entering from the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, south of Broad Boulevard, north of Falls Avenue. Let's see, then on Sunday, February 25th, a volunteer exam session test starts at 1:30. If you know anybody that wants to take the test, or if you want to, anybody listening wants to take the test, or if you want to upgrade, then make sure you have your FRN and pre-register for this by going to www.cfarc.org. Click on the word education up at the top. That opens up a page that has a horizontal yellow button, and click on that, and it will come up with the dates of the exams, and choose the February 25th one to register. Follow the actions on that link. Okay, then February 28th, that's the fourth Wednesday of February, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting. That is both on Zoom and in person. And again, in person, it's at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, which is between Broad Boulevard and Falls Avenue. Get to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting by going into the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, south of Broad Boulevard. If anybody is interested, on the 5 p.m. Friday to 5 p.m. Sunday, that's Friday the 23rd to Sunday the 25th, 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. Is the CQ Worldwide 160-meter single sideband contest. Just look for CQ Worldwide 160-meter SSB. Put that into your search engine, and it will come up with the rules and all that, and the various categories. I plan to participate as a single operator, assisted, low power. So I can contact everybody, and I can use dxsummit.fi and all that to look for contacts. That's all that I have in the way of announcements at this time. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, W03X, at the mic, asking for any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, everybody knows the newsletter's out, and all I wanted to say is it's time to think about what you would like to see in March. If you have something you would like to contribute to the newsletter, now's the time to think about it and start working on it. The deadline is the end of the month, and you got an extra day because February this month is a leap year. Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar, back to net.
Okay, Vince, thanks. You hear that, people? Start thinking about it, start working on it. You have an extra day compared to other Februaries, but we have a day or two less than the usual longer months. So hop to it there. Okay, any other members or officers who have an announcement of general interest to the club?
Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango.
W8VPV, go ahead.
All right, good evening, John, and everybody out there. Have a great day today. Point out that the officers and trustees are looking carefully at the way the club currently operates in terms of meetings and how decisions are made, and we want to kind of make it more interesting. So we're looking at some updates and revisions to the club meetings. We're going to introduce some ideas that we've had, and this coming Wednesday at the meeting, and would appreciate any feedback and idea from club members, either via Zoom or in person, about some proposed suggested changes. And if that looks good, then we're probably going to have a bylaw revision set up for the March business meeting to vote on, and or at least to announce in the March, and then probably vote on it in the April business meeting. I think our goal is to make the club meetings more interesting, less boring. We're going to try to get away from the standard business meeting format and have most of the meetings activity and interesting meetings like that. So if you're interested in the future of the club, this would be an excellent meeting to attend coming up this Wednesday. All right, John, that's all I've got. We'll hand it back to you. Please check me in, and I'll catch you on, I think you said 10 meters tonight, 28360. Back to net, W8EZT.
Thanks, Frank. Let's see, two things. I'm not sure if my signal is doing it too, but when you first start transmitting, both on this net and the Aries net, you have a lot of crackling going on, but then it went away. So by the time you got to the meat of your announcement there, it was all cleared up. So thanks for that, Frank. And people, this is really some interesting ideas that we have here that really increase the fun. So come on to the meeting there on Wednesday, the 14th, and take a look at what we're proposing here in the way of revisions. Over to you, Frank. Comment about your crackling there. Over.
Thanks, John. I'm afraid I have an antenna problem here. My SWR is way out. I can see it bouncing around up here at about 3, so I got a bad connection somewhere. I'm sure that's my problem, and when I get some warm weather, I'll get out and get up there on the tower and see what I can figure out. I've ruled out most of the other things. The other issue I'd like to point out is we do have a Hamfest coming up April 13th. That's a Saturday. This is an all-hands-on-deck mission. We need club members to help and volunteer. There will soon be a sign-up sheet on our webpage. If you can either volunteer time Friday evening to help set up between about 6 and 8 or so, put tables out, put chairs out, things like that, and or Saturday throughout the day, starting at 6 a.m. and running till about 1:32. We sure would appreciate your help. So look for that sign-up sheet. Of course, we will have information about that coming up in the newsletter. But those are the two big things coming up here. Sign up to help at the Hamfest, and that is, of course, the major funding activity for our club each year. And stay tuned for fun and interesting changes in the club meeting format. And we would definitely want to hear your opinion on what you'd like to see and how you'd like us to, how you'd like the club to operate. All right, John, that's all I've got. We'll hand it back to you. W8ECT, back to Ned.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Are you using the same antenna for 2 meters and the 440 band?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that explains that. Well, maybe a squirrel or something chewed through your coax, who knows. So thanks for that, and thanks for reminding me about the volunteer sheet there, which I'm the one that brought that up at the officers and trustees meeting. So, as Frank was mentioning, there will be a volunteer sign-up sheet like there was last year, and so watch for that to show up on our website, www.cfarc.org, and it will be after you click on the word Hamfest. So there's a form that you fill out where you can mention what part you can help with. So with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor now asking for check-ins. I'll take 5 check-ins, and let me acknowledge each one at a time.
W8 Mobile.
Okay, I got WA3JAT, and then there was somebody Mobile. Go ahead.
Yeah, K8HMS Mobile, John.
Okay, K8HMS Mobile. We'll get back with you in a moment there. Another check-in, please.
NH Mark and Akron, in and out.
N8NH Mark, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. I have you as in and out. Another check-in, please.
KA8BSA.
KA8BSA. Keith, I have you. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
KD8YAX.
KD8YAX. Good evening, Forrest. Are you just in and out?
Yes.
Okay, Forrest, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. And let's see. One more check-in. Another check-in, please.
K8PU.
K8PU, I have you, Larry, and one more.
Echo 8, Yankee Tango Golf.
KE8YTG, I have you. Okay, let's go back up to the top of the list.
Jim, WA3JAT, go ahead with your comments.
W8VPV, WA3JAT. Nothing going on much here other than looking forward to seeing everybody Wednesday at the meeting. And I hope you have a good evening tonight. Back to you, W8VPV, WA3JAT.
Okay, Jim, very good. Thanks for checking in, and maybe we'll hear you on the 10-meter net there at 9:30, starting at 9:30 p.m. on 28.360. Okay, next was K8HMS mobile. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, W8VPV in the net, K8HMS Mobile. Yeah, thanks for grabbing me, John. I wanted to check in before I headed down in the valley. I'm just up by Blossom Music Center now, so hope you got a copy on me. Not much going on, just say good evening to everybody. Wanted to check in, and we will see you on 10 meters, I'm sure. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Just enjoying this decent weather. I'm sure it's good for you for walking, and good for me too, getting the dog out to walk. So back to you, K8HMS.
Okay, Steve. Oh, you're coming in great. Better than at your home there. So thanks for checking in, and maybe you'll be home in time to do the band exploration net on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz. Thanks. 7-3, and hope to hear you later. Let's see here. Next was Keith, KA8BSA. Go ahead with your comments, Keith.
Good evening, everyone. John and the group. This is KA8BSA. Apologize for being away for so long. Things are starting to get back together. As of tomorrow was 3 weeks ago, I lost my wife, my mom. Oh, my wife is well, kicking and doing great. And sitting here building an antenna launcher, pneumatic, and thinking a field day if I'm able to get out and do it. Back to you, KA8BSA.
Okay, Keith. Well, if you could do the go to station again, that'd be real help. What do you think?
Well, right now I'm not making any promises, one way or the other. We'll see how it goes. Things are getting better, but you know, it's a big loss. So I'll turn it back to you, and not sure if I'll make it in on 10 meters or not, but I'll try. KA8BSA.
Okay, Keith, very good. Well, keep in touch about that field day, and hope you can be available to do that. Thanks. Okay, 7-3, and have a good evening. Let's see, so next was Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments.
Oh, evening, John. Everybody in the net. I don't have really much to comment about. I can't believe this terrible winter that we're having is just continuing on and on and on. It's just hard to take. Oh, well. Like I say, nothing exciting, and I'll catch you over on 10 meters at 9:30, and look forward to seeing everybody Wednesday that, doesn't see us on 10 meters. Well, look forward to seeing Wednesday down at the meeting. So back to you, John. W8VPV, K8PU.
Okay, Larry, very good. 7-3, and hope to hear you on 10 meters. Okay, let's see. Next was Steve, KE8YTG. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Roger. Thanks, John, and thanks for running the net. Really not a lot going on like everyone else. I want to say hi to everybody on the net this evening. I'm not going to be able to make the Wednesday meeting. I sing in a choir, and it is Ash Wednesday, so I've already made that commitment, unfortunately. But I am eager to see any changes. I'm a newbie in the club, so I'm eager to see any kind of changes, anything like that, and the club evolve. I did contact Frank on helping with the Hamfest. I will re-sign up on a new list if there's going to be one released, and I will do that. And so, anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And I just raised my dipole up to 33 feet, so I'm getting a little bit of better reception from that. So that's all for me. KE8YTG, back to the net.
Okay, Steve, did you already sign up?
Roger. I thought I wasn't sure if there was an older list because you guys are talking kind of about a newer list, but I already signed up online for just a general help wherever I'm physically able. Over.
Okay, yeah, I saw that on there this evening when Anthony was. I asked for him to clear it. Because it had last year's entries on it, but you were at the bottom there. So thanks for signing up already, and it will be, you don't have to re-sign again. You're already on there, so thanks for that. So with that, I'll say 73 to you, and so have a good evening. Okay, and so that takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for check-ins.
KE8ULA, Leo and Stowe. I'm in and out.
KE8UOL, Rob and Talmadge. WA8RCN.
8 Alpha, Charlie Papa.
Okay, net standby.
WD8MJS, Whiskey Delta 8 Mike Juliet Sierra.
Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, I have KE8ULA. I think he was in and out. Then I have KE8UOL. Let's see. Let's see. K. Let's see. A. Let's see. WA8 RCN, N8ACP, and W8MJS. Are there any corrections on any of those?
Yeah, this is Kilo Delta 8 Uniform Oscar Lima.
KD8ULO. Okay, UOL. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, you're next because Leo KE8ULA was in and out. So go ahead, KD8UOL.
Yeah, this is KD8UOL. It's Rob and Talmadge. I spent my day, I got a new FT710 over the weekend, so I spent the last few days getting that going. And today I managed to get my FT8 connection going to Ham Radio Deluxe. So I was pretty thrilled with all that and looking forward to the 10-meter net tonight because right now that's the only band that I can operate on because that's the only antenna that I have. Back to net.
Okay, very good. So congratulations on getting that operating, and so I have to get that operating too eventually. By let's see, March 16th is a contest that I want to use that for. So hopefully I'll get that working. Okay, let's see. So next was WA8RCN. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
Hey, W03X W8VPV from WA8RCN. Say hi to you, John, and everybody else on the net here. Just doing some listening and a few things in the shack here. And yeah, weather's been good. Been outside working in on the property here, doing things. Took down a couple trees last week and put in about 36 raspberries on Sunday, and was messing with the blueberries today and getting those all mulched up with pine needles and stuff. And as long as the weather's good and it's not snowing, we're out there trying to get things wrapped up, for spring. It's early yet, but then when the real nice weather comes, I want to start working on the antennas again. We got that project about half done, and we got about 4 beams all over the yard out there, so try and get this thing wrapped up, especially if we got to start mowing the grass, with the old zero turn. Everything's going to be in the way here. So anyway, so what's going on here? Just making hay while the sun shines, while the weather's decent outside. W8VPV in the net from W8RCN.
Yeah, very good, Jim. Yeah, I have to take down my gap tighten, and in order to tilt my tower to change the Mosley CL33M to the Cushcraft X7, and also change the mast. I bought a mast 4 years ago. It was during the pandemic, and it's I'm still waiting to put it on there. So, but first, actually, I have to run the coaxial cables in the house here. I ran one of them, but I have let's see, at least 2 more to go. So we'll see how that goes. So thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. Okay, let's see. So next was Chris, N8ACP. Go ahead, Chris, with your comments.
Hey, good evening there, John, and all on the net. Number 8 Alpha Charlie Bobby here. Glad to hear about the passing of cloud code with the 7 Delta X-ray. We talked, of course, many times, and he's always willing to take the little guy to pick up the odd file and have a little conversation with you. Of course, he comes from a great amateur radio operator family. His brother is Giannis here, and 1,000 Delta X-ray. And I don't remember his call. His wife is an amateur operator as well. Great guy. Held a lot of the X contests, number 1. Talking on us today, you can say more about it. And worked a bit in the PACC DX contest out of the Netherlands this weekend in Belgium. Fernandez, the exhibition, heard them today on 20. Of course, there's a giant pilot spot of it. We'll wait till it's closed down. We'll be listening to Robin. 73 to all from November. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor from November 8 Alpha Charlie Bravo.
Very good, Chris. Yeah, that's too bad about that that operator there. So that's a sad thing there. Okay, so thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Ken, WD8MJS. Go ahead, Ken, with your comments.
Okay, correction there. It's MJS, Mike Juliet Sierra. And I'm going to have to keep this brief. I just noticed that I dropped the radio and the charger. Must not have made contact, so I don't think it's going to last very long. Just good evening to everybody on the net, and maybe catch you on the next go-around. WD8MJS.
Okay, Ken. Well, maybe we'll hear you on 10 meters this evening. Let's see. When I go for a walk, let's see. I go down 16th or 17th Street to Falls Avenue. This is one of my walk routes. And then I go on Falls Avenue to Front Street. And then I go on Front Street all the way to Hillcrest. And then I go up Hillcrest to Albemarle. And then over to 9th Street, then 9th Street to Chestnut Boulevard, and then one of the numbered streets back toward my neighborhood. So I go in a big rectangle around your area there. So that's funny. Do you have 10-meter capability?
Not currently, no.
Okay, well, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening there. That's Kilo Delta 8, Mike Juliet Sierra. Thanks, Ken.
Whiskey Delta 8.
Oh, yeah, Whiskey Delta 8. I don't know. That's what I have written here. Whiskey Delta 8, Mike Juliet Sierra. Thanks, Ken. Okay, very good. So that takes us to the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, with John, WO3X, at the mic, asking for check-ins.
KE8, KBI.
Hi, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. I'll go one at a time now. Go ahead, Ron, with your comments.
Not much of a comment. It's been a sad day for me. My beagle is broken again. He's having trouble with his back, and he can't get downstairs. He can get upstairs, but he can't get downstairs, so I have to carry him around. And he's about 40 pounds, so that's not easy on me.
How long does it take for him to recover from that?
Usually no more than a day or two. Poor guy got broken about a year and a half ago because we had a puppy in the house who was a kind of a loner or a visitor, and they were playing too rough, and she broke my beagle. And so every once in a while he does more than what a 15-year-old beagle should do, and then he, 12 years old, but he acts like 15. And then he breaks his back again, so then he limps around for a couple of days, and then he's better.
Okay, well, hopefully he gets better pretty soon there, so he can go down the stairs when he wants to without having to be carried. So anything else going on there, Ron?
Nothing more than the usual technical issues, but, technical issues seem to be my life, so I'm used to them. But it's been kind of nice weather, so I have been enjoying that.
Okay, yeah, very good. Well, good hearing from you there. So 73, and have a good evening, and hope that the beagle's back gets better quick there. So let's see. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
8WTK.
Hey, WTK. Go ahead, Bill.
W8VPV, K8WTK. Not much going on tonight. We've had kind of an interesting week. Margaret had cataract surgery last week on one eye, and she has the other eye this Wednesday. So it's been a lot of eye drops and doing things for her, because for a few days she can't bend over, and after that she can't lift a whole lot of weight. So I've been a productive house hubby, I guess I can say. Just supportive house hubby is probably better for the for the last week or so. But she'll get over it real quick here. She did real good with this one. I'm sure she'll do good with the next one. So that's about all I got going on here. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill. Very good. Well, hopefully that goes okay, as good as the other one did. So 73, have a good evening, and maybe I'll hear you on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz this evening. Let's see. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
KG4 SCK.
KG4 SCK, good to hear you. Go ahead with your comments.
Hey, good evening, John, and everybody on this net. A few weeks ago, I heard Tom, I think KD8OWX, hosting the net, and I still had my antenna up and scanning around, and figured I'd stop by and say hi. So, hello, everybody. KG4SCK, back to net.
Yeah, very good, Mark. Well, let's see. Tom operates the nets on the third Monday of the month. So he'll be on the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club VHF UHF net at 8:30. And then he'll be on the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Band Exploration net on 40 meters. It's supposed to be around 7187 kilohertz, but we usually end up having to move up the band as high as 7200, sometimes 7205 even. So look for us there. That's on 40 meters, which is where you would have heard him. Over.
Oh, Roger. That's some good information. What did you call that 40-meter net?
Well, it's our band exploration net, which on the first Monday of the month, it's on 6 meters on 50.270 megahertz. Then the second Monday of the month, that's at 9:30 every Monday. Then on the second Monday of a month, it's on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz, upper sideband. Then on the third Monday, it's on 40 meters on or about 7.187 megahertz. Plus, usually we go up the band in frequency because of QRM. And then on the fourth Monday is we're on 80 meters on or about 3.827 megahertz. There again, usually we move up a little bit in frequency if there's QRM. And Frank W8EZT usually runs that net. So so far we had another net control station, but that helped with the 10-meter net and the VHF UHF net on the first Monday. But I've been doing both nets on both the first and second Mondays.
Oh, well, Roger, that is just a fine plan to check out all the bands each week. Appreciate you doing that, John, and yeah, I'll be checking that out. KG4SCK, back to net.
Okay, Mark, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening, and I'll probably hear you tomorrow on the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association, Tuesday night 2-meter net. Okay, very good. Okay, let's see. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. WB8CXO, go ahead, Mike, with your comments. Okay, Mike, very good. Yeah, that's too bad they put Loctite on those screws. That's really not an appropriate application for Loctite. Now, there's a place there's an application that Loctite should have been used and was not, and that's on some of the turbohydromatic 400 transmissions for the bushing on the front of the front pump assembly. They should have used a Loctite product called sleeve retainer, and what that prevents is that bushing starts to move toward the seal, and it ends up going into the seal, and the seal then doesn't seal anymore, and you lose your transmission fluid. So now that is a good spot for a Loctite product. So too bad you had to mess around with those screws there. So thanks for checking in, Mike 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for check-ins.
N8ALQ.
N8ALQ, Walt, go ahead with your comments.
Well, good evening to you and everybody else on the net. I hope the beginning of your week has been pretty good. Mine has started up not too bad. And I'm waiting for spring to come back, but maybe we're going to have to wait a week or two. Everybody have a great one. This is N8ALQ back to net.
Okay, Walt, good to hear from you. The next door's flowers, the daffodils are up, and I've seen down 17th Street it seems like when they come up and they get the fly. Something is stuck. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Repeater, timeout.
W8EZT here on top of the repeater. Somebody's obviously got their radio on, sitting on the mic, or at least it's locked on. Repeater should time out here momentarily.
W8VPV, KA8WTK. W8VPV, KA8WTK. On simplex.
time. Repeater out.
All right, John, if you're still there, I think the repeater's back. Somebody accidentally was obviously leaning on their transmit button.
Okay, let me see. Okay, very good. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, with John, W03X, at the mic, asking for check-ins.
November 8th, Bravo Alpha Yankee, Ralph and Stowe, in and out.
And 8BAY, Ralph and Stowe, we have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
KD8AIR, in and out.
Have you in and out, KD8AIR, thanks. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. KE8TQR, Keith, let's see, I'm not sure if it was you or the repeater. You were scratchy there. Do you have any comments?
Well, I upped the power a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Nope, no real comments. Just wanted to get in here and say good evening to everyone. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll send it back to you, John. KE8TQR 73.
73, Keith. Yeah, that helped. I think that our repeater antenna is in bad shape, so that helped a lot. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Okay, I'll do a last call for check-ins. I repeat the announcements. Okay, so this Wednesday, February 14th, is our business meeting, and it starts at 7:30, both in person and on Zoom. To watch it on Zoom, go to the calendar on our webpage, www.cfarc.org, and then scroll down along the right side to look for that date, February 14th, and the link for Zoom is there. Again, that starts at 7:30 p.m. In person, it's at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, which has the address of 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going into the parking lot on 2nd Street, which is South Broad Boulevard, north of Falls Avenue. And again, that one starts at 7:30 in person. And let's see here, on February 28th is our activity meeting, and that is the same time, same place, and then on the calendar go to February 28th to get the Zoom link for that also. Okay, February 25th, which is a Sunday, and is a volunteer exam session. The test starts at 1:30 p.m., so get there a little ahead of time. Pre-register for that by going to our website, www.cfarc.org. Click on the word education up the top, and that will open up a page that has a horizontal yellow button to click on, which will open up a list of exam dates, and select the February 25th one there to pre-register. Make sure you have your FRN. The February 14th meeting, we are going to present a possible revisions to our Constitution and bylaws. So come on to the meeting or view it on Zoom there to see these exciting revisions that we hope to install, and it will really increase the fun of the club. In particular, the club meetings and events. Let's see, and then we will take a vote on that in March with another. We'll vote on it in April, and we'll present it again in March. Let's see. There's a contest coming up, 160-meter sideband contest. It starts 5 p.m. on Friday, February 23rd, and it ends at 5 p.m. on Sunday, February 25th. So get your 160-meter antennas rigged up and try to make some contacts on that. The February 28th meeting, the activity is to be announced. We don't have that information at this time. Also, regarding our Hamfest, there is a volunteer sign-up sheet. We need people to help set up the tables and chairs on Friday evening, usually starting around 6 p.m. And some of the vendors come in after we have the tables set up, and you can maybe make some deals with them on some of the devices that they are bringing in for sale for the next day. And then we need people early on Saturday to help with various tasks, like watching at the doors for people that are trying to get in without a ticket or whatever, and also helping with other vendors who are bringing in their equipment to point to where they need to go. That sign-up sheet will be available soon. It's being finalized, and we already have one volunteer signed up, and so keep a watch for that. It's like I said, currently being set up for the 2024 Hamfest. That's all that I have in the way of announcements. So with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is W8VPV, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 23 check-ins, counting myself, and return the repeater to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:31 p.m. local time, almost 9:32, so I'll be late for the 10-meter net. This is W8VPV.
Net standby, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, W8VPV. Net standby. Good evening, calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night band exploration net. My name is John and my call is W8VPV. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep club members up to date about club happenings. This band exploration net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF-UHF net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. The frequency of the band exploration net is on the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Hamfest calendar, and this evening we are on 10 meters. Next week we will be on 40 meters on or about 7.187 megahertz. Okay, when checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then ask for officers or members who have items of special interest to the club. When all, then I will ask for regular check-ins. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements. After that, I'll give one last call for check-ins and then close the net. Here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be on this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. It will be on Zoom and also in person at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ. It's on 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going into the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, south of Broad Boulevard, north of Falls Avenue. Let's see. So this meeting, we will be presenting an exciting change to the operation of the club. And so we will have some explanation of how we propose to do the operating. And so come on to the meeting and see what this is about. And also, if you can't come in person, watch it on Zoom. All members are encouraged to attend. Guests and visitors are always welcome. This is our monthly business meeting. Now then, on February 28th is our activity meeting. The activity hasn't been determined yet or announced yet. Also on February 25th is the volunteer exam session, and that's a Sunday. Keep in mind that's a Sunday. So it's the test starts at 1:30 p.m. at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. Register for that by going to our website, www.cfarc.org. Click on the word education. That opens up a page that has a yellow horizontal button to click on. You click on that and it brings up a list of the exam dates, and click on the February 25th one to register for that. And make sure that you have your FRN. And then, like I said, February 28th is our activity meeting. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. So with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins from officers or members who have items of special interest. Hearing any, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. K8HMS. Let's see. I'll just go one at a time here on this net. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Oh, okay, John. Yeah, just wonder how you copy me tonight.
Oh, you're way above the noise level. So I copy you just fine.
Okay, just wondering. Yeah, you're a little bit in the noise level down here, but yeah, no big problem. You know, we're just down in this hole. Anyway, yeah, good evening again from, down here. So, and, you know, thanks for running both nets. That's good of you to do that. So, other than that, not much else going. And hopefully I'll remember to get in on the Zoom meeting Wednesday, or try to get down to the church. So, like I said before, just enjoying this nice weather. Okay, back to you, W8VPV, KHMS.
Steve, am I better on this antenna? Okay, this is the different antenna. Okay, I'll go back to the first one. And this is the first antenna. What do you notice the difference of?
Okay. Yeah, that second one's much better, John. The second one's much better. And hey, just curious, I don't want to keep you, but just wondering, because I've been up there looking at your antennas, what are you going to use for 160 meters?
Well, the tower in the back that has the VHF and UHF antenna, vertical antenna, I have a shunt feed wire on there, and I have a matching network that I have at the bottom there connected to that shunt feed wire. That's a setup it's in one of the ham radio handbooks. It may be not an ARRL handbook. I'm not sure. It's not an antenna handbook, but that's what I have there. It's actually there's like two capacitors. One from the shunt feed to ground, and then one from the shunt feed to your coax.
Oh, okay. Yep, sounds good. Yeah, I just kind of wondered because, I didn't see any long area there where you could put up a big antenna. And, like I mentioned before, my 160-meter antenna is a 60-foot wire across the roof of the house with an MFJ tuner, and works okay. Not so well on sideband, but okay on CW. So yeah, hopefully maybe I'll see you there. Yeah, and back to you, and like you say, that number 2 antenna sounded a little better down here. W8VPV KHMS.
Okay. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-in.
Kilo
November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa, N8ACP, Chris Akron.
Okay, I got Chris, and there was somebody else in there too. Go ahead.
Kilo Delta 8, Uniform Oscar Lima, Rob in Talmadge.
Okay, we'll get back with you, KD8 UOL. We'll get back with you. Okay, Chris, N8ACP, go ahead with your comments.
Hey, good evening there, John. Thanks for picking me up on the 10-meter net, and Rod sounds good out there over here, so talked to him the other night, I think on 337, and I jumped to see if I could get that Juan Rodriguez Islands, I think it is plural, and man, just not very loud, bad audio, and a huge pileup, so I jumped and worked that guy that's doing some DXing from U.S. Virgin Islands, excellent operator. I can't remember his first name off the top of my head, but doing a fine business handling the pileup that he was running. So we picked him up in short order. That was on 20 meters, I think. Hold on a second, let me pull up in the log. Yeah, 20 meters, 242 Mark 6. First name of Ryan. Good operator. That's all I've got tonight, John. Let you get back to the list. W8VPV from November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa 73.
73, Chris, and congratulations on getting through the pileup. Very good. Okay, KD8 UOL. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, this is Kilo Delta 8, Uniform Oscar Lima, Rob in Talmadge. This is my very first time checking in on this net because I've only had my 10-meter rig a couple weeks, so glad to be in here and see that I can run the signal local a little bit. Did a bunch of work on it the last couple days and got a lot to learn, but I'm really liking it.
Okay, very good. Well, you have a good signal over here in Cuyahoga Falls, so it's working well. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening and have fun there. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W3X at the mic asking for check-in.
KA8WTK Charlie November.
Okay, there was a little pile up there. Who was the call sign ending in November?
Yeah, Whiskey Alpha 8 Radio Charlie November.
Oh, okay, Jim. We'll get back with you in a moment. W8EZT, go ahead, Frank.
Very good, John. Don't have a whole lot to add. Just going to give you the numbers here. Good job on the nets, and they're keeping you busy. The 2-meter went right up to 930. You had to switch mics and jump in there. So thanks for what you're doing. I'll hand it back to you and go ahead and get Jim in there on the log. W8EZT back to that.
Yeah, okay, Frank. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Somebody had their microphone stuck on, so on that 2-meter, the VHF-UHF net. So thanks for checking in here. 73, have a good evening. You have a real good signal here. Okay, WA8 RCN. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
Yeah, okay, John. W8 or W03X, W8VPV at the mic there. W8RCN. Yeah, okay, just say hi to everybody in the net and to my 2 neighbors there, Frank down the street and Steve in the hole down there. And sounds like you drove right past the house here tonight here, Steve. Anyway, everybody sounded good. And I listened to you with both antennas. We're probably too close, John, but both were S9. I mean, I looked at the meter and they went up to S9 and just stuck on 9. And both were identical. So I mean, we're probably too close, but. Maybe Steve being further away can tell a better difference, or maybe somebody else further away can tell a difference than I could, because we're so close here. But anyway, all right, we're not going to stick around too long. Get upstairs and maybe watch some TV with Mama before the news, and then go to bed. So and get back up and get back outside and see what we can do tomorrow. Okay. Let you take it back there, W03X, or WAVPV rather. This is W8RCN. Okay, Jim, very good. Let's see, I guess there's, I haven't seen the latest forecast, but there's a little bit of snow in the forecast somewhere along the one of these days soon here. So, I'll be trying to get stuff done too. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for check-ins.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK. What's going on there, Bill?
Yeah, W8VPV. KA8WTK. Bill and Talmadge. Not a whole lot since 2 meters, other than I was interested in what Walt said about come on spring. It seems the deer seem to think it's spring here already. They're coming down in the yard looking for the green grass. And normally that'd all be covered with snow this time of year and they'd stay up in the woods. But I had to chase them out of the backyard because this evening, get them away from my wife's flowers. On the antennas, the antenna you are on presently is giving me half the S reading that the other antenna is. So it just depends upon location, I guess, tonight, as to who's going to get the strongest signal. And other than that, not much going on here radio-wise. Like I said, I've been busy with Margaret and will be for the next week or two, but have been listening a lot to the repeater during the day. It's remarkably quiet. Other than that, back to net control, John. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, I'm on the other antenna because I could hear you a lot better on the other antenna. So how do I sound on this over your place?
Well, like I said, the signal strength is about twice as strong, and it proved out on the receive side, too, if you say you can hear me a whole lot better now. So just none of these antennas have absolutely perfect patterns, so it's just the way it goes. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, very good. Yeah, you're way easier to copy on this antenna here, so maybe I'll just keep using this one then for the rest of the net. Okay, so thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Oh, and I saw on my walk today many robins are out. I guess they're hurrying up, gather some supplies there before the ground freezes and gets covered with snow there. So they were really active, hundreds of them. Very good. Thanks, Bill. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Tango Golf.
KE8YTG, go ahead with your comment.
Roger. Thanks for running the 10-meter net tonight. Your second antenna came in at 10 plus over here in Stowe, and the other one was a steady 5.9. I thought your modulation was the same for both. That's about all I have. I know the wildlife is going crazy over here, the raccoons and such, and the deer, and you wouldn't believe the stuff coming around our house. So anyway, thanks again for running that. Everybody, hello in the net tonight, and have a great evening. This is KE8YTG, back to the net.
Okay, Steve, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. I'll clear with KE8YTG. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-in.
K8PU?
K8PU, good evening, Larry. What's going on over there?
Oh, I don't know, 85 and sunny, I guess. Pretty nice out. Well, I can't complain. This weather, like I say, on 2 meters, I take these winters all the time because the ones I have back in my memory banks sure aren't like this. I plowed a lot of snow. Anyways, yeah, we're about halfway through now, and we're getting on the upside as the days getting longer. So you mentioned snow this week. Well, temperatures going to be in the 40s about every day, so maybe slightly below freezing. I couldn't amount to much. Okay, John, see everybody there Wednesday evening, and if you get there first, save me a seat, and we'll see you then. Back to you, John, W8VPV, K8PU.
Okay, Larry, yeah, I'll see you then. They've been talking about some snow in the forecast, but the last thing I saw was that snow is going to pass to the south of us, but then after that passes, then there might be a little bit of lake effect. So that's the story on the snow. We'll see what they say this evening. Okay, thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and I'll see you Wednesday. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Retech John, W8VPV.
Go ahead, Frank.
I'm sitting here by my radio now. If you want to give me switch back and forth between your antennas, I can give you a pretty good measure from here. But like Jim said, I'm pretty close to you, so it may not be a reliable measurement.
Okay, here's the antenna that I switched to for Steve in Stowe. Well, let's see here. No, with Bill, KA8WTK, he got me a lot better on this antenna. So here, I'll switch to the other one. Okay, how's this?
Both are very, very clear and almost full capacity. This antenna, the second one that you're on now, I get one more little dot. You're about 5 over S9 on the first one and about 10 over S9 on the second one, the one you're on right now.
Yeah, that's funny. On this antenna, I didn't get bill as good as I did on the one that I had switched to. But on with you, you are 10/9 with the other one and 15/9 on this one. So I guess it depends how close we are or whatever. Well, like Bill said, the patterns aren't perfect.
Very true, and this is a vertical antenna. This is my 43-foot vertical in the backyard with the tuner at the base, so that may be a factor too. All right, John, good job on the nets. We'll hand it back to you. Oh, what was the name of the KG, or what was the call sign for the KG4 station that checked in on 2 meters tonight?
Oh, that's Mark. If you look him up on QRZ, it shows Kentucky, but he's in Copley.
Okay, and what was his call sign?
KG4 SCK, that's Sierra Charlie Kilo.
Very, very good. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Initially, I was thinking, geez, a 4 station coming in here on 2 meters. All right, John, I'll hand it back to you, see who else is out there. Great job on the net. Look forward to seeing you and everybody else Wednesday. Back to net, W8EZT.
Yeah, very good, Frank. Yeah, he checks in regularly to the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night 2-meter net, which I also check into every week. So that's where I know him from. So thanks for asking there, and thanks for the antenna comparison test here. Okay, I'm going to go back to the other one there, and well, let's try this one. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, the next meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is this Wednesday. That's February 14th. It's in person and on Zoom. It starts at 7:30 p.m. If you want to do Zoom, go to www.arc.org. And the calendar is on the right side of the page. Scroll down to February 14th, and the Zoom link is on that calendar. And then if you want to come in person, it's at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, which is on Broad Boulevard. 130 Broad Boulevard is its official address. But to get to our meeting, you go into the parking lot on 2nd Street, which is south of Boulevard and north of Falls Avenue. Just pull in the parking lot, and the door is over in the corner, and then you go in the building 10 or 15 feet and make a right and go down the steps, and you'll see us all there. Okay, then same place, same time, but a different day, February 28th, is our activity meeting with the activity to be announced soon. volunteer exam test. So go to www.cfarc.org, click on the word education up the top there. That opens a page with a big yellow button. Click on that, and that opens up the list of exam sessions. Click on the one for February 25th and get signed up. There is no fee. It's a Laurel exam, so there's no but there's the $35 FCC fee, which you take care of with them, with the FCC, not us. So if you know anybody that wants to take an exam, let them know that this exam session is available. Again, that's February 25th, Sunday, at 1:30 p.m. is the starting test time. Let's see. So, let's see. This February 14th meeting, we're going to present a proposed change, revisions, updates to our Constitution and bylaws. So, to increase the fund of the club. So come on over and or watch it on Zoom, and we will be presenting it in March for a getting prepared for a vote on that, and then in April we will vote on that. So we would like to have a quorum at those meetings so that we can get these exciting new changes started. Okay, so that's all that I have in the way of announcements, although there's a 160-meter contest that starts at 5 p.m. February 23rd and ends 5 p.m. Sunday, February 25th. It's a 160-meter sideband. So get your 160-meter setup going there and try to make some contacts. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-ins. WB8CXO. Go ahead, Mike, with your call. Okay, Mike, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-in. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-in. Okay, next week the band exploration net will be on 40 meters on or about 7.187 megahertz. We usually end up having to move up in frequency a little bit, so listen for us. Usually what we do is on the 2-meter repeater, we announce the frequency that we are at for the band exploration net. So with that, in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took this time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. And as I mentioned, next week the frequency will be on or about 7.187 megahertz, upper or lower sideband, plus or minus QRM. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John. My call is W03X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 10:06 p.m. local time with 10 check-ins counting myself. 7-3.
you.